A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Good day and welcome to the second lecture of development communication. Dear students, our topic for this lecture is what is communication. As you know, this lecture is the continuation of the previous lecture where our objective was to know the phenomena of development communication. In order to fully grasp the essence of what development communication really means, we wanted to describe briefly both development and communication separately. In the previous lecture, we described development, and in this lecture we will elaborate communication, that what communication really means. So, what is communication? Communication is derived from a Latin noun communis and its verb communicare, which means to make common or to journalize, or we can say to come to common grounds. If we look into the dictionary definition, it implies communication as the interchange of thoughts and ideas. The definition refers to the exchange of ideas and thoughts. It may be between two or more people. It may be between a human or a non-human entity. It may be the interchange of thoughts and ideas within a person. Now, if we observe the textbook definition of communication, it refers that a communication is the process of exchanging or transferring ideas, information, knowledge, attitude between two or more entities using words, emotions, symbols, pictures, or illustrations. Communication is a continuous process in our daily life to survive in a society. Or we can say, if food is our physical need, communication is our psychological need. If we observe the definition on the screen, we as a human being don't have direct access to each other's thoughts and feelings. Thus we cannot read one another's mind. So in order to understand each other, we communicate by exchanging and transferring ideas, thoughts and expressions through the use of symbols, words and emotions. There are certain types of communication through which we communicate with each other. We will briefly describe the types of communication. We will take a separate lecture on types of communication, but here we will describe it briefly in order to understand what communication means and eventually what development communication means. So, we divide communication on two bases. The first one is on the basis of expression in our daily lives. We divide it it into verbal and non-verbal communication. The first one is verbal communication. Verbal communication refers to the exchange of our ideas, thoughts, and expression through the meaning of words and speech. Face-to-face conversation, group discussion, letter, email are the common examples of verbal communication. Verbal communication is further divided into oral and written communication. As evident from their names, oral communication is that verbal communication in which we use spoken words to express ourselves. Face-to-face conversation, interview, debate, class discussions, friend circle discussions are the common examples of oral verbal communication. The second one is written communication. Written communication refers to a type of verbal communication where we use written signs and symbols to express ourselves. Its common examples are books, magazines, newspapers, emails, letters. Now, on the basis of expression in our daily life, the second type is non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication refers to a communication where no words are used to communicate with each other, or a wordless communication is known as non-verbal communication. In non-verbal communication, we use gestures, postures, face expressions, hand gestures, symbolic communication. We don't use words in non-verbal communication. On the other hand, we divide communication on the basis of nature or organizational structure. The first one is formal. That refers to a communication with a predefined or a hierarchical channel at an organization in a form of request on an order. The request is by a subordinate to his boss, and the order is by the boss to his subordinates. It is mostly in written form, like application, request application, orders in an organization. It is mostly in written form. The second one is informal, which take place in our daily lives, in an organization, in an office, without any predefined or pre-hierarchical channel. It is always in oral form, or mainly in oral form. I hope you understand what communication really is. Now we describe both development and communication separately. Now we can understand development communication effectively. If there is any question, you can ask your question in the comments below. Thank you so much.